Yeah, we got another title match here. It's a three-way winner takes all tag team match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship and IWGP Tag Team Championship. We got FTR, which is Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, which of course are the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champs. United Empire, which is Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb. Hey, Jeff Cobb is back. They're the current IWGP Tag Team Champs. And Roppongi Vice, which is Trent Beretta, because he's also finally back, and Rocky Romero. And so this is a very interesting match here. It's good to see Jeff Cobb back, I gotta say. My God. It's kind of rough because I never seen Rocky Romero in action to kind of get a fair comparison. I'm just going to go, I'll just play a safe route, at least for me, and go for FTR. Imagine how cool it is that they're both the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champs and the IWGP Tag Team Champs. That just adds more to their prestige and everything. So, I'm going to give it to them and see what's going on. And also, I'm not sure they had that many title defenses since they won it, because they were not in the last pay-per-view. They haven't really appeared much since they won the tag title in the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, So to see them drop it so fast would be such a shame. I think it would be bad for them to have both titles. But yeah, I'm going to go for FTR and see what happens there.
Yeah, honestly, this is what bugs me about this match is why the fuck aren't the Bucks in it? Like, if it's supposed to be winner take all, wouldn't it make sense to have the IWGP, Ring of Honor, and AAA, and the AEW titles? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to have all three champs? What the hell Roppongi Vice is doing in this match is beyond me, considering,
But they're not champs.
They haven't really... They're not champs. They have nothing on the line. Like, what is the point of having them in the match? It's beyond me. I don't understand what the hell they're doing here. It's so stupid. If they win, I'm going to be pissed. But for this, you know what? I'm going to go with United Empire because I think they can, just elevate any title that's given to them. So, for that, I'm going to go with United Empire. Plus, it would look really cool to have, the United Empire with all the titles and then, have Ospreay retain his title. It would just look really cool to me.
Again, I'm going to have to agree with Jack Knives. The United Empire, they definitely know how to push a title and keep it in the spotlight. Not to mention, they are two really tough characters as far as this goes. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to give it to United Empire for the win.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be interesting to see the United Empire win this match. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to say.
All right, so let's see here. The next one we have is, let me pull this up here again because I lost the page. Okay, so here we got singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. We got Thunder Rosa, the current AEW Women's Champ, versus Toni Storm. And to really play it up with the Japanese, side of it, it looks like Toni Storm's been champ a couple of times over in Japan, so they're kind of building her up that way. I guess she's kind of sort of representing the New Japan Pro Wrestling side, so it doesn't look like just an AEW match in general for this event. But what can I say? I don't know. This is a real tough one because, if anyone's going to take down someone like Thunder Rosa, it would be someone like Toni Storm, to be honest. But, I don't know, man. I don't like thinking of Thunder Rosa losing her title that quickly. She really hasn't defended it too much. I do kind of agree with some of her statements where lately there's all these shows like Dynamite and Rampage, and she's barely on it defending her title, and yet Jade is on all the time. Or even if Jade, not so much Jade, but Britt Baker, despite the fact that she's no longer champ, Britt Baker still has all these matches. She has these little segments, these little spots, little interviews, and Thunder Rosa's not even there, not even to do a little, I accept all challengers kind of promo or whatever, you know what I mean? Or they could have kept going, I don't know, have Jamie Hayter go after her to avenge Britt Baker, or just something, you know what I mean? I haven't really seen much of her. So, while I do see Toni Storm as someone that can take down Thunder Rosa, I don't want her to lose it so quickly when she hasn't really had that many title defenses, you know what I mean? Damn, this is a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Thunder Rosa, but I mean, it could really go either way.
I'm just gonna stick with. I mean, this sucks for me because I love both of them. I think they're two of my favorite women wrestlers right now. I think it's gonna be Thunder retaining. I don't know if it's a combination of they just haven't hyped her yet proper or what, but I just don't see Thunder Rosa losing the title anytime soon. But I do think if she retains, she should go like full heel, like dig into the whole, hey, I'm mistreated by the company, because she is, and she should just embrace that,
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, she is one of the, I guess, most underwritten wrestlers as far as it goes, but she's one of the better female wrestlers in the division. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Thunder Rosa, but I got a feeling, yeah, a heel turn is in order.
I totally agree with you guys. Yeah, this has to be a match where Thunder Rosa wins this match because, she deserves to win a match with such a, formidable opponent, and she really needs more airtime. Like, I don't know what's with AEW. It would be cool for her to turn all heel and shit and just her bath-mouthing Tony Khan.
See, but in the same
Honestly,
token...
I don't know what...
Oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to cut you off, Johnny. But in the same token, that could also backfire in our faces because the next thing you know, they'll start making Britt Baker a face, and we'll be right back, sitting right back where we were talking about this right now.
Putting all the politics to the side, this will be one of the most, interesting matches, one of the best matches of the pay-per-view. I really want to see this match.
I do wonder though, like it is kind of cool that I get Tony Storm up in there, but again, like were there no oh wait a minute, but there are no women in the IWGP, right? There are no women in the. Is that what they did? That
she's a former Stardom champion. Well, Stardom is basically the equivalent of New Japan in Japan for Joshi wrestling. They are owned by the same company. They're actually, what's funny is now that you mentioned that, yes, Tony Storm is a former SWA champion, which is basically the equivalent of the Pure title in Stardom. She's also the first non-Japanese wrestler to ever win the Cinderella tournament, which is kind of like their version of the King of the Ring. But what's interesting about the Cinderella tournament, which is kind of funny, is it's a single elimination tournament, and when you win, you have to wear a dress, because it's women. You wear a nice dress of your choice, and you get to have whatever wish you want come true, which basically means you could challenge for any title that you want. So she challenged for the top title, didn't win, but like I said, she's an amazing talent. Thunder Rosa had a little stint in Stardom, but it was maybe for like half a year or for a little while.
Wait a minute.
Anyway,
so if the winner wears a dress, was Perry Saturn ever in that one?
Oh no. Well, no. But what's interesting, bringing up Stardom, is in November they're going to do their first ever New Japan Stardom pay-per-view. Like, they're together, which is going to be huge in November. I'm really excited for that. But, yeah, like I said, they both have had stints in Stardom. They're both extremely, legitimately two of my favorite wrestlers. And they're at the forefronts of their career. I just hope... honestly, I would be cool with either winning, but I don't think Thunder should lose this title this quickly.
But my point was like they didn't have anyone available or anything. Well, who would be a cool person? Just real quick side question: who would be a cool person you would want to see go against Thunder Rosa? Someone from the actual Stardom or from that end.
Stardom. I would love to see. I would honestly love to see probably either Mayu Iwatani, because she's basically like the ace of Stardom, or you could have Utami Hayashishita, because she's kind of like Okada, or Tekla. You could just have Tekla. Tekla's a fucking beast too. Tekla is an Austrian woman who her nickname is the Toxic Spider because she wrestles She wrestles like a spider monkey. It's crazy. Like, she could do, like, you know the Bray Wyatt back handstand thing he did?
Yeah.
Like, she incorporates her moveset to use that. So, like, people will, like, hit her, she'll dodge, leapfrog, she'll even do the back thing and freak out people. She's a really good technical high flyer. And she is the SWA champion right now. So it would be kind of cool to see her versus Thunder Rosa. But who knows? Hopefully, if Forbidden Door does really well, we could see that in Forbidden Door 2.
Yeah.
So who knows?
So everyone's going for Thunder Rosa. So then we have the 8-man tag team match. It's like a regular match. It's not like, any title. So I'm surprised because, like, wow, we got like every title in the world up for grabs in this event. We've got the quote-unquote Bullet Club, which is El Fantasmo and Hikuleo with the Dumb Fucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. That kind of ruins the Bullet Club. I mean, I know they were members, but we're sick of them. Versus Dudes with Attitudes, which is Darby Allin and Sting. I'm glad Sting came back in time. And Los Ingobernables de Japón, Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi. And pretty awesome because I got a shirt of them. Well, at least a logo and everything. So yeah, obviously with the Young Bucks being annoying, like, I support Bullet Club too. I think they're cool, but the Young Bucks, well, so I'm gonna go with Darby, Sting, and Los Ingobernables de Japón. I actually saw them wrestle a couple of times when they would guest spot on like Ring of Honor and stuff. So I'm gonna go with them, and hopefully, I don't know. It would be funny, like if you do, how you were talking before, where you were saying like how no one likes the Young Bucks anymore, and they burn a lot of bridges with the Bullet Club. It would be fun if the Young Bucks started doing like, hey, we're all together, right? We're all Bullet Club, right? And Fantasmo and Hikuleo, like, turn on them or just they had enough of their shit. You know what I mean?
I would love to see that because honestly, well, that's what's so funny is the Bucks keep going for one night only a Bullet Club reunion, and I'm like, first of all, El Fantasmo doesn't like them. And Hikuleo is he's a brother of the Gorillas of Destiny, and they don't like they don't like the Bucks. Tama especially, he hates the Bucks. So, I honestly want to see. I think, I mean, you got Shingo, you got the Dragon Shingo Takagi, you got the Time Bomb Hiromu. I mean, my big question is, what the fuck are they doing teaming up with Sting and Darby? It's kind of like that one joke where it's like my longtime friend, and then the one guy in the corner is like, I've never even seen them talk to each other. How long have they known each other? Like, that's what I feel like. It's like, oh, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And then you're literally in the crowd like, I've never even seen them interact with each other. Like, that's how I feel about it. But they have nothing to do. Like, I don't think they've even met Sting before, because it's like, what the fuck? Honestly, it would have made more sense to have, LIJ, no, not even LIJ. It would be more interesting. It would have made more sense to have, like, Chaos help them. Like, like have Yoshihashi or Toru Yano or Goto, have those guys fight with Sting and Darby, because they hate the Bullet Club. I mean, LIJ hates the Bullet Club, too. There's very few people that don't in the company. But it is kind of weird. I'm not against it, but it is kind of weird. But I want to see the Dragon just whoop the shit out of the Bucks. That would make me so happy. Just him just forearm and decking the shit out of them, and see the Time Bomb do his craziness. I honestly would have rather seen Time Bomb versus Moxley to see who's really the crazy one. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with this match. I'm also curious to see people's reaction to LIJ, because they are fucking phenomenal. I mean, Hiromu just won the Best of Super Juniors trophy, so he's got a guaranteed shot at Wrestle Kingdom for the junior title. And then Shingo is the KOPW title champion, which is basically like a stipulation type trophy, which means like it's like a championship that you can only challenge it through a stipulation, basically. But it's interesting. I'm gonna go with. I love the Bullet Club, but I think, like I said, going back into that, I think going into the factor of the main event, I think that I'm going to give it to Sting, Darby, and LIJ.
I agree. I want to give it to Sting, Darby, and LIJ, but like, just for plot wise, I kind of hope the Young Bucks and the Bullet Club win, only due to the fact of it's going to be that much funnier when they're celebrating and they get their asses beat and kicked out of the Bullet Club. So that's the only good ending I want to see out of that. Otherwise, I got Darby, Sting, and LIJ.
Okay, so for this match, there's definitely a lot of friction going on. I don't think the Bullet Club, like, they have a lot of things going on against the Young Bucks, and yeah, not a fan of the Young Bucks, so I've actually wouldn't mind seeing Phantasmal or whoever beat the, living, how about the Young Bucks or whoever, have a lot of, like, disagreements during the match. That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of good. But yeah, I would like the dudes with attitude. I don't know. I would actually want the Gobernables Japón team to win. Shingo and Hiromu Takahashi.
Well, they're on the same team.
Oh yeah, they're both together. Okay, so yeah, I would just like to see the whole team win. Team dudes with attitude.
So anyways, the next match we got on here, it's Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi singles match for the interim AEW World Championship. Yeah, this is the big match where CM Punk came out, and it sucks so much because, come on, dude, he just got the fucking title, and he had to drop it due to, I think it was like a broken foot, broken heel or something in his leg that got broken. So,
yeah, I think he got a sprain. I think he sprained it during Double or Nothing. Because, like, if you rewatch that match where he tried doing the buckshot, like, twice, and he stumbled both times.
Yeah.
And then I think when the rebound, or he did that one move where he got his leg caught, it just made it worse. It just, like, that was, like, the final straw for his leg.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that thinks that Double or Nothing didn't really do many of these wrestlers any favors in terms of injuries?
Yeah.
Yeah, not really.
So we got those are big tournaments, and I guess since Jon Moxley was the contender, it's like whoever won the tournament would face him. So the winner was Hiroshi Tanahashi, and so here we are. And what can I say? In this case, and I don't know, but I'm thinking just for a change, I really want Hiroshi to win. Not only to be like a big showcase, because he's obviously a big star. I saw the house blew up when he came in, so everyone or at least the New Japan guys know who he is and everything. And the other thing is that we just can't have Jon Moxley as this, like, Japan star killer. It's like he always defeats all these guys, even the ones that look like that could just take him down, like Minoru Suzuki and all them. Like, he always wins. He's like this, I'm a one stop, demolition path to take down all the Japanese biggest stars. So I'm thinking in this case, like, I don't care if you want to cut it real close or make it kind of look like if only Moxley did this one last thing or whatever, something like that. Or even if Hiroshi gets him in something and he doesn't tap, or I don't know. But I want to see Hiroshi win this one because, like, he can't win them all the damn time. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go for Hiroshi Tanahashi, and let's hope that he impresses me because I'm sure he's awesome. But here's my first chance to see him, which is one of the bigger reasons that I love this event because I want to see all these new guys and see all the stuff they do so I can kind of, get in on this, see what Jack's talking about all the time. You know what I mean?
There's a reason Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi, he is a part of an exclusive group of people in Japan that are, internationally well known. And the thing is with him is he really is as good as people say. The stuff that he's come up with have changed wrestling, and the style of wrestling he's created have basically been like implemented all around the world. Like, you've seen everyone use the sling blade. He created the sling blade. It's also known as the Tanahashi clothesline, but he created that. He is, and this is from Chavo Guerrero Sr. Said this, and both Chavo Guerrero Jr. said this, that the only person who can hit the frog splash as good as Eddie is Tanahashi, and he actually hits it like perfect. His finisher is the high fly float, which is the frog splash. He also does the high fly, which is a standing frog splash, and then that leads into the second frog splash. But what I love about this, and this is, I'm not just saying this as a fan of New Japan. I'm saying this as a wrestling fan. Tanahashi internationally is extremely well known. I know in the States he's not as well known because he's not a WWE guy. But actual like hardcore wrestling fans, they all know who Tanahashi is. He's like one of those names that people know. I honestly think this is just not just from a wrestling fan, but a marketing perspective. This is a shoo-in. This is a shoo-in to have Tanahashi win because, okay, from a booking perspective, Moxley has never lost a singles match clean. He's never lost a singles match clean while in AEW, which is already stupid. But imagine the press of. Okay, imagine just the idea of Tanahashi, one of the top people in New Japan, winning the AEW title, even though it's interim. So it's technically not the title because, Punk's still champion. But Tanahashi winning a championship the championship for another company, that will internationally get more eyes on that company. So like people in Mexico or people in Spain or people in these other countries that don't know about AEW, they've heard whispers of it, they would be like, what's AEW? Tanahashi's there. So what is this? And it would be just such a genius move to have him, because then technically you wouldn't lose your champion because Punk is still the champion. And you could have Tanahashi win, who is an outsider guy, not from AEW. So technically you could still have the whole thing with Moxley going, well, I've never lost to anyone in AEW that's on the roster. So it makes no sense for Moxley to win. We've seen Moxley as champion. It's done. It's been done. We don't need to see it again. And I honestly think it would be a huge waste to not have Ace win. And for that reason, I'm picking Ace as well.
I totally gotta agree with Jack Knives. I mean, let's face it, they've got nothing to lose if they let Tanahashi win. Again, CM Punk still has the title. John Moxley can still say, I haven't gotten beat by anyone from AEW. But also, Tanahashi is a damn good wrestler. Like, his stuff it's amazing, especially his high five flow. That is highly reminiscent of Eddie Guerrero, like to a T, like right down to, the way he does the full pump before he flexes out midair. It's 100% Eddie Guerrero. The guy he's definitely getting the legendary status, and to see him lose to Moxley would be a damn shame. Not to mention, having him win would open up a lot more doors as far as getting other people to watch AEW and even to get into New Japan. So yeah, definitely want Tanahashi on this one.
Hey, I totally agree with you guys, especially from a marketing perspective. I think they should let Tanahashi win this match, especially since you guys, talk about how talented and how great of a wrestler he is. It would kind of suck that he would just lose to John Moxley. Because in my opinion, I never really feel John Moxley that much. So I don't know, to have an extremely talented wrestler to lose by John Moxley would kind of suck. And pretty much like what you guys say, if Tanahashi wins this match, more people are going to watch the pay-per-view because there's people that are just fans of Tanahashi. They're going to watch the pay-per-view. They're going to see that's on the AEW, versus New Japan kind of pay-per-view, and it'll just bring more viewers in, And AEW does need more... AEW does have an international exposure, but I think this would really raise the bar a little bit more, because they really need to get out there. They really need to be super well known to the level of, I hate to admit it, but to the level of the WWE, because let's face it, as commercialized and problematic WWE is, it's still a very, very, very well-known wrestling enterprise around the world. So AEW really needs to get to that.
Get it right, Johnny. It's sports entertainment.
I said what I said.
Okay, so the final match is going to be kind of hard to predict because we don't even know who's in it officially. Officially, it's supposed to be Zack Saber Jr. versus, let me say, the American Dragon. Okay, because I'm tired of his name forward and backwards or whatever. But yeah, so he's injured. So he made a big announcement, that he's injured, and I remember Jack was not happy to hear that too, because he was making announcements like, "Oh man, I swear, he says he's injured," But yep, he's injured. He can't be in the match, but he does promise that he has like a certain someone that's like super awesome, super whatever, and you will not be disappointed, by this person that he chose to go after Zack Saber Jr.
Yep.
And another thing is, the way he made it sound like it's someone new, so it's not someone that's already in AEW. If he joins AEW, we'll see if that person will be all elite, but it seems like it'll be someone new. It won't just be like, hey, it's Wheeler Yuta or someone. It's just someone new. So, I have 100% zero guesses, no ideas. I can't think of anyone who had a recent contract loss or whatever. I don't think Laura Nyes is going to get into the ring. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I think just to make this one fair, because it's a wild card match, everyone should just get a point automatically for this one, since we don't know who's going to fight.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fair to do it on this kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll give everyone an automatic point because it's just we just don't know. I mean, it's different like the other matches, what do you call it, the Casino Battle Royale. Because there's so many other people, there's always a chance someone else might win. The Joker doesn't always win, but when it's just two people like one-on-one, yeah, it's hard. Who are you gonna choose? You know what I mean? He could fucking come in with the fucking Juggernaut could walk into the ring, and we don't know.
So do you have any? I guess we could just come up with guesses of who we think it could be.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll leave them up to you, man, because I got no idea. I don't know who could possibly come in. Like I mean, you might know maybe some old buddies of Daniel Bryan that are good at him that haven't been in wrestling recently or something, or I don't know.
Well, from the reason this was a dream match for both Danielson and Saber, and for wrestling fans in general, because Danielson and especially Zack Saber Jr. are known as the two best technical wrestlers on the planet, period. Like, legitimately are just masters at pure technicality and pure submissions, ground mat wrestling, everything like that. And the sad truth of it is the reason it was such a huge, everyone was pushing it so much is because when he was in WWE, Danielson wasn't allowed to wrestle his style, which is technical style. Because according to him, he said he wasn't allowed to wrestle full force because they didn't want to make the other people look bad. And I'm like, that just shows how good Danielson actually is the fact that they didn't want him to make other people look bad. And I'm like, it's the same thing that happened with Regal. They didn't want Regal to make like Goldberg look bad or these other people to look bad because he could have outperformed them. But with that being said, if I was going to pick anyone to replace Danielson, it would be the third, possibly second, I don't know, best technical wrestler on the planet, and that would be the Ring of Honor world champion, the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham. Because Gresham versus Saber would be a masterclass in technical wrestling. I mean, really, Danielson versus Saber, had the match actually happened, it would have been match of the night. It would have been up there with technical wrestling as far as, like, honestly, the only people I could compare it to would be, like, Kurt Angle versus Benoit. They're the only ones I could think of. Maybe Benoit versus Bret Hart, but that's the level of technique that they have. It's just unrivaled. But with Zack Saber's abilities, he can beat pretty much anyone if he really, really, really tried. But my guess would be the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham from Ring of Honor. I mean, it wowould make sense because Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor. He is the Ring of Honor World Champion, and he does know Danielson, but they've never fought each other. So, and he's never fought Saber either. So Saber, I don't even know if Saber would be able to beat Gresham, honestly. I don't know who would win in that match. Hell, they could have the Ring of Honor World Champion there, and he could even put the title on the line. I don't know. Like, that would be a huge shock. But I don't know. That would be my guess. That would be my guess of who I could think. There's one other person I could maybe see, but I think it's going to be Gresham, but that's me.
That would actually be a hell of a good choice, to be honest.
I don't know. I definitely agree with you on Gresham because Gresham is a damn good technical wrestler. Now, another thing that they've been kind of keeping quiet, it looks like Kenny Omega might be cleared to wrestle, so it could be Kenny.
I think that might be a bit of a stretch because, I mean, if they're going to have Kenny back, it would be like, maybe like he'd show up at the end of the show, because he's such a big name. But I think the only other person I heard rumored that it could be is Cesaro, because now that he's fully gone from WWE and his contract's up and he's 30-day no-compete, it would be fucking awesome to see Cesaro.
So Cesaro, would you consider him like a badass enough talent to stand up to like Zack Saber Jr. and give us like a big 5-star match and everything?
Absolutely. I mean, plus he is friends with Danielson. They were in Ring of Honor together. Technical wrestling, I don't think he could match toe-to-toe with Saber, but his hard-hitting style and like adaptability, he could put up a fucking amazing match with Saber, because there's a reason Zack Saber Jr. is in Suzuki-gun. I mean, he's literally the right-hand man of Minoru Suzuki for a reason, because Suzuki trusts him more than anyone in the ring. So, yeah. Like, I don't know. I really don't know who it could be. I hope it's Gresham or Cesaro. Anyone else, I don't really know.
Is Cesaro his real name, or would he go under whatever the heck?
Antonio Cesaro. No, hang on. I'm trying to remember what his original name was. I totally spaced on what his original name was in Ring of Honor. Oh, it's Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio. So he'd be known as like probably Claudio, which would be freaking awesome. So, yeah, but it was so. I'll tell you how long ago it was when he wrestled in Ring of Honor. It was so long ago he had hair. That's how long ago.
Damn.
He had his hair kind of. Yeah, he had hair like slicked back. He kind of looked like a stereotypical Italiano, which is hilarious because his whole gimmick was like he was like an Italian mobster, but he could technically beat the shit out of you, which is hilarious because he was Swiss.
I'm wondering if I could just choose, like, assuming that Zack Saber Jr. just wins the match, regardless of who it is that he's fighting with. That would be kind of a wild prediction.
Yeah, I mean, that could be it, too. The winner could be Zack Saber Jr. no matter who he's facing.
Yeah, so
I mean, his abilities... Sorry.
I think I'm going to play like a devil's advocate and just say, Zack Saber Jr. can win the match versus whoever it is. But yeah, he wins the match, regardless.
I think he's going to probably win because, like I said, his abilities, Saber could put a great match against anyone, really. You could put him against a fucking fence post, he'd probably win.
But it would be cool to see either Cesaro or Gresham in the match. Holy smoke.
Yeah, I was totally sold on Gresham when I saw him in the Ring of Honor. Like, that'd be awesome.
One of the other front runners I heard was Johnny Gargano from NXT. But I think that would be kind of weird because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but I'm also like, eh. Or Ciampa. It could be Ciampa. Ciampa's leaving too.
Oh,
I don't know.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they released him. So.
What the fuck? That was epic, dude. Like,
it could be Bray Wyatt now. I don't know. I don't really know. It could be anyone.
Was Bray Wyatt friends with Daniel Bryan, backstage or whatever? Like,
not really. I don't think they ever really interacted that much. Maybe a little bit, but not much. I don't know. I really don't know. It really is just a crapshoot of whoever the hell it could be, honestly.
So yeah, that's basically all we know for now, guys. Apparently there's supposed to be some buy-in matches announced at Rampage, and I have now, thanks to cable going up and having to renegotiate my bill, I can't see Rampage anymore. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. So obviously we can't count any last-minute buy-in matches because we don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a good event here. And one thing we do want to discuss, we could just to kind of wrap this up in a little bow here, is the way AEW kind of sort of dropped the ball. Like this is a big event, like for us guys, you know, us AEW guys and New Japan Pro Wrestling guys and stuff like that. But like for the average Joe, they might not even notice things happening this weekend. You know what I mean? So it's like they really didn't seem to do like the best they possibly could to really hype this fucker up. You know what I mean? I think you had some thoughts on that, Jack.
I mean, yeah. The problem is it pisses me off because New Japan has been building this for months. Like since they announced it, remember, keep in mind they've announced this for 2 months. They've had 2 months to plan this shit out, and I know there are factors in here that they had no control over, like Danielson getting injured. Like Punk getting injured, I get that. I understand that better than anyone. But the fact that you couldn't come up with anything, no storyline, no build-up, no nothing. The only thing they've had close to is between Moxley and Tanahashi, but that was mostly because of the storyline they already had in New Japan, where when Tanahashi was the U.S. champion, Moxley kept saying, oh, Tanahashi's ducking me, he's ducking me, you know, all this stuff. But it's pissing me off because AEW, this should have been an easy sell. This should have been the easiest thing to book. You take the best people of one company, the best people of another company, have them fight each other, boom, bingo, bango, have shit go that way. But they couldn't even do that. Like, the amount of lack of hype is astounding to me. I mean, if this fails, it's 100% on AEW's fault. Because AEW has severely dropped the ball, and New Japan is trying to dribble it and try to get it into the hoop. That's all it is. I mean, it's fucked up, but that's the situation that it's in. I mean, it's so messed up that you have to have two of the best. This was literally built as, this is a show that people have been wanting since AEW was founded. Like the first year they wanted this shit. And yet, And it's also the commentary team. It's the lack of respect that they've had for New Japan is irritating the shit out of me. Because first off, when they first had wrestlers from New Japan showing up, the first one was Kenta. He shows up. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's Kenta. That was it. We'll have him in a tag match. Oh, by the way, Moxley's the U.S. champion. Who cares? Then you had Satoshi Kojima show up. Oh, okay, he's going to fight Moxley and loses in 5 minutes. Then you have Minoru Suzuki showing up at a pay-per-view, and the whole crowd freaks out, and they're like, oh my god, Suzuki, oh my god. And then he gets beaten in 10 minutes against Moxley again. So it's like, what the fuck's even the point? Like, why even build it? You know? I mean, and then you do the whole cutting off his theme song when that was like a part of his gimmick. You listen to his theme song and cut off the theme song, and they had such a backlash that the second time he showed up, they let him play the theme song. Things like that. Like, literal basic shit. But then you look on the opposite side, you look at Impact. Impact has been showing nothing but respect to New Japan. They've had an open relationship with New Japan, a thing that they've been wanting for over a decade. Because of the bullshit that happened with TNA, they severed their deal with New Japan. New Japan wanted nothing to do with them, and years went by, and they had to rebuild that. They decided to rebuild the relationship, and it's benefited both of them. They have two of the best Impact wrestlers, Chris Bay and Ace Austin, now official members of the Bullet Club, and the fans in Japan are like, oh, I want to watch Impact. I want to watch this show. You know? You have AEW is so hyped in Japan that you have the Dragon Shingo Takagi and the other Japanese commentator literally taking Dynamite and Rampage after it airs. It airs on New Japan World for New Japan subscribers to watch, and it's translated in Japanese. And they give in their own commentary in Japanese. So, like, the Dragon will be like, oh, I think I could have a really good match with him. I think I could... So, literally, the idea that, like, New Japan is not doing their best to build AEW... They're trying so fucking hard to have an open relationship with AEW. And AEW is like... They're treating New Japan like it's a sitcom. And like it's a sitcom about a bunch of people in an apartment. And then the wacky neighbor guest starring. And then it's like the guest star is whoever the fuck the celebrity is. That's what they're doing with New Japan. It's like... And guest starring New Japan Pro Wrestling. Whoa! That's what they're doing. And they've built more... Think about it. They have built more of a storyline about Wardlow and Scorpio fucking Sai than they have about New Japan. They built more of a storyline about... They built more of a storyline about fucking Sting and... whoever the fuck they're fighting, like Sting coming back. Literally, listen to the last Dynamite. They go, New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door is going to be this Sunday, and we're so excited. Oh my god, it's Sting! Oh my... I'm like, wait a minute. What the fuck? I'm like, you give more of a shit about the 60-year-old coming back than you do about fucking... Literally, listen to the audio. Listen to the audio of Excalibur when Sting came back, and then listen to the audio of Okada showing up. He doesn't give a fuck comparatively. But JR was legitimately excited because he's seen Okada wrestle. He knows how good Okada is. He literally said, one of the greatest wrestlers of this... He said, the greatest wrestler of this generation, Kazuchika Okada, has arrived and kicked in the Forbidden Door. And you're like, oh my god, he's building it up. And Excalibur's like, yeah, but can he jump over the top rope? I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off, you masked fuck.
Isn't he supposed to be like the guy that knows all the wrestling stuff and whatever, and he doesn't, I guess...
Apparently, people were trying to get Excalibur canceled because of some shit he did back in GCW. Or not GCW, he did back in Guerrilla Pro, where he was a heel. He was a heel, and he got... It's really fucked up if you find the clip. And he did this thing where... Because he was a heel, he was a major villain, and his gimmick was that he fought this one guy and he beat him up so badly that the guy got sidelined. So what does he do? He decides, oh, I'm going to come out and pretend to be the guy and get a wheelchair and pretend I'm a vegetable.
Oh, boy.
And he does like the cerebral palsy hands. He's like that. And I'm like, that's so fucked up. And he's still wearing the same mask.
Oh, God. Oh, did you see Christian Cage's promo, too, when they were asking him stuff about like how he turned against Jungle Boy and all that?
Yeah, I'm like, shit, I don't... I'm glad Christian's a villain again, but it's also, like I said, it shouldn't be this hard. Jay White is 100% right. Jay White is never... He is always telling the truth. He literally said he is the catalyst of pro wrestling. He's right. Because think about it. Before they announced any matches, period, for Forbidden Door, it sold out. And who was the only person confirmed for Forbidden Door? Jay White. He's right. He did single-handedly sell out that arena. Just like at Ring of Honor, that show at Madison Square Garden, where they had with New Japan. All the Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman, Cody, they all bailed when they announced that show. They bailed. That's when they started coming up with AEW. They left. Their contracts were over. And who was the only person that was booked for that show? Jay White. Jay White was the champion, and it's sold out. So it's like, he's right. When he says he single-handedly sold out Madison Square Garden, he single-handedly sold out this arena, he's 100% right. He did. That's what I love about Jay White. Jay White is such an amazing villain because he never has to lie. He just proves it. And yet everyone underestimates him. And yet, this guy can literally show up anywhere, beat the shit out of almost anybody. And yet everyone will be like, yeah, but is he Kenny Omega? Can you do the V-Twiggle? I love video games because he's the best. I'm like, fuck off.
Oh my god.
Like I said, he even said he's accomplished. He's literally the ultimate Grand Slam champion. He's done the only thing in New Japan's 50-year history. He's the first to win all 5 titles, which is something that no one had ever done before. And he's not even 30. Like, that's insane. Like, Kenny Omega is 42. I mean, like, AJ Styles is 47. Like, it's insane to me that people still want, no, they're not insert wrestler here. I'm like, like, literally, I guarantee you, literally, everyone will be like, Tanahashi doing the high fly flow. They will literally say, it's a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. I'm like... Because as we all know, only Eddie Guerrero could do the frog splash, ever. He was the only person who has ever done it, ever. It's a fact. Yeah. That would be like someone doing a suplex and going, it's a tribute to Brock Lesnar. I'm like, no, the fuck it isn't.
Breaking news. Apparently, Jim Ross has now officially been injured for trying to carry the commentary for the Forbidden Door.
Oh, God.
Exactly. I want to see, I really hope, just for Forbidden Door, I want them to have Jim Ross, hell, you could even have Excalibur, I don't care, and Kevin Kelly. I want to have Kevin Kelly again. Kevin Kelly is a fucking phenomenal announcer, and he's so funny. He's so good in the English commentary on the mic. So, like, here's a fun thing that Kevin Kelly does. So, there's a character named Toru Yano. He's a comedy wrestler, but he's really, really good. Now, every time, he'll distract the ref, and he'll do, his finisher is a low blow and a roll-up pin. And every time he does this, Kevin Kelly goes, oh no, my monitor went out! And then, like, he wins. And then, what? He cheated? No, not Yano, no! But his joke is that his monitor went out when the good guy does shady shit. Oh, but I'm like, it's so stupid. It's kind of like when Kenny Guerrero did cheating shit and people just loved it. It's like that. But anyway, so that's my rants about AEW dropped the ball. And despite all that, I still think this is going to be a very successful show, despite the setbacks. And here's hoping you buy the pay-per-view, all of you listening buy the pay-per-view, everyone buys the pay-per-view, because let's be honest, we need a Forbidden Door 2. And we need all the wrestlers that are injured to come back, to fight at Forbidden Door 2.
Which reminds me, when this podcast is over, I gotta whip out $50 and pay for this thing here. Now, when's the next pay-per-view? Because I remember there was a bit of an annoyance that it's like sandwiched right between Double or Nothing. I think the next one's probably All Out.
I think it's Full Gear. I think that's the next one, I think.
Yeah, but I hope it's like a month or two out, because, geez, I felt like we just barely watched the other one.
Well, yeah, I think it's not going to be for another 2 or 3 months, because, like, they... Remember, AEW only has, like, 4 pay-per-views in total, so...
Yeah.
When I think about this pay-per-view, that I hope it goes well, considering the fact that the promotional's not that good. I think the problem is that the AEW, they're more like on the AEW side.
Yeah, they're on their own side.
Really showing,
Like, they're on their own side, basically.
Yeah, but they're not showing much, like, on the, Japan Pro Wrestling side of it. So, for the average Joe that's, wants to watch this pay-per-view, they're not going to really know who they're fighting with, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like, right now, next month, they're doing the G1 Climax, which is, like, their biggest shows, their biggest tournaments that lead into Wrestle Kingdom. And it's a gigantic tournament, and for the first year ever, they're going to have more competitors than they've ever had. And so you'd think AEW would jump on that, that opportunity. Hey, bring over this guy. Hey, bring over one of our guys. Have fucking Pac. I don't know. Have Malachi Black. Have whatever. Just show off their talent. The only person they've allowed to be in the G1 is Lance Archer. Because, and wouldn't you know it, Lance Archer's a former New Japan guy, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, they definitely dropped the ball on this one. Like, this is something I've been waiting on since AEW first introduced themselves. I was just like, dude, this would be fantastic if them and New Japan actually clicked together and actually had a tournament. Like, this is literally the Marvel vs. Capcom of wrestling here, and they're dropping the fucking ball.
No, I don't want to be a pessimist either, but the thing is that the way I don't know, it almost feels like the relationship between AEW and Japan Pro Wrestling is not very, like, cordial, or not very, like, I don't know, like, there's a little bit of clash here and there, and the thing is that I'm afraid that this might backfire them to the point that, you know what, we're not gonna do this pay-per-view again.
It feels like, I hope that's not the case, but I do think you might be onto something, Johnny. I mean, it sucks because, like, let's be honest, it's mostly Tony. It's mostly Tony Khan. He has all of his, let's just say what they are. He has all of his toys. And the kid, as in New Japan, want to come over and have a play date, but Tony Khan doesn't want to let the other kid play with his toys. That's basically what it comes down to. And it's fucked up, but that's really what it is. And what sucks is, like, it's not that New Japan is not adaptable. They're very adaptable. I mean, hell, Best of Super Juniors was one of the best tournaments they've ever had this year, and they showed off champions from Impact. They even had Wheeler Yuta was in the Best of Super Juniors, and he did amazing. And he was carrying the Ring of Honor Pure title. They had, another promotion called Gleet's title. They had some CMLL, some Lucha Libre. They had every bit of showing off for every company. And if they can do that, it's not hard to see why, like, people, I remember, like, I heard, like, Ricky Rocks wants to, crap on it and say, oh, well, it didn't work in WCW. You know why it didn't work in WCW? The same reason that AEW is doing it. Zero hype, zero build, zero actual reason for fans who have never seen these people to show up. Because honestly, let's be honest, it can work. It can work. Literally, a couple of years back, remember when NXT took over and on Raw, and then it was a build-up to Survivor Series? And literally everyone was hyped for that shit. They're like, fuck yeah, NXT representation. We love NXT. Hell yeah. And NXT ended up winning that year's Survivor Series. And the viewership for NXT went up after that. It's not that hard. And they were owned by the same company. What the fuck is the AEW's excuse? It's really just AEW doesn't want to make... It's true. The truth of it is New Japan, balls to the wall, is the best as far as in-ring abilities, technique, and style. They're adaptable to everyone. They've even made that a promotional thing. We don't care where you came from, as long as you can go. They always say that. Respect begets respect. Because AEW and WWE, they build their entire companies around ratings, about TV, ratings, TV. New Japan has always and will always build their reputation around quality over quantity. It's always about what is good. If something's good, it goes back to business 101. It's if something is so good, people will pay money to see it. And that's New Japan. And AEW doesn't get that. They're trying to fill in a void of a gap of entertainment for people, but it's not about filling a void. It's about building a company around a reputation. You need to get the WWE guys to want to watch your shit by putting on a thing that is not like WWE. Get the New Japan fans, which is what this is supposed to be. Get the New Japan hardcore fans like me to look at AEW in a way that would seem like they would be in the same competition as them. But they can't do that because they don't want to make AEW look bad. It's not, but they're more worried about their reputation, but they don't want to build that reputation. It's so dumb. It's like, you ever have those friends that are like, my dad could beat up your dad, my dad could beat up your dad as a kid.
Yeah, that's
And then
garbage.
you see his dad, and he's like a big fat drunk who can barely fit in his pants. And you're like, really? This is the guy you've been talking about? Like, it's kind of like that. that.
I don't know that conversation. I didn't have a dad.
Oh man.
But no, even Moxley himself said that New Japan and AEW crossing over is the equivalent of Marvel and DC to wrestling, and he's right. But they don't know how to fucking build it.
And you'd figure they would, consider half of their roster came. I mean, hell, their starting wrestlers came from New Japan.
Yeah, every one of their main roster startups were from other companies. It's literally an invasion angle. It shouldn't be this fucking hard. What is an invasion angle? Bad guy, these people show up these people. The end. Build that shit. Like, it's not that hard.
Well, despite everything, guys, let's hope that.
But I hope I'm wrong. I will say, I hope this is a big success, and I really do hope for the best in this show. I know New Japan will do everything in their power to make AEW look good, but I can't say AEW would do the same. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I hope if all goes well, despite all the setbacks and issues, this will be a great plus for both companies. If, and it's a big if, they can pull it off.
And above all else, nobody gets injured.
I mean, we still got 2 days, guys. Cancel that match at Game Changer Wrestling or whatever. Like, don't do any indie stuff. Just chill till Sunday.
Yeah, like, don't do any indie matches. Don't do any weird cooking. Hell, don't even open an envelope wrong. Like, no paper cuts. We want nothing. Just keep everybody healthy until Sunday.
Don't run up the stairs too quickly. Don't run with scissors. Like, oh my god.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna just do my quick sign out because I gotta go.
Yeah, we're basically done for this episode, guys. We're hoping that against all odds, it's a great show and everything. So this is Mark Rodriguez here for the Diving Cutter Podcast.
Ninja Panda 1980.
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
And Johnny Rodriguez. Let's see what happens to this pay-per-view. Hopefully it'll be a success. And hopefully they're still able to pull through despite the fact that a lot of the AEW wrestlers are down. So hopefully they'll be able to, keep the show going.
See you next time, guys.